Moving house, but with no new home to go to. A former submariner, Ian is packing up at his flat in Guildford, one of the most affluent parts of Britain. After his marriage broke up, he then spent 4 years retraining to become a lawyer. But he now can't find a full-time job. And quite simply, his money's running out.
The sum total of my monthly income at the moment from my 3 part-time jobs brings in the grand total of about £600 a month. And the rent on the flat is £970 a month. So you don't need a PhD in mathematics to work out, that that's not sustainable.
46 years old, Ian now finds himself homeless. His way of dealing with it may seem extreme, but he's determined not to go on benefit nor to go into debt. Instead, he's taking a tent and going to live in the woods.
Are there alternatives? Yes, there are. I could probably get a room in one of the shelters in town. I'm not being snobby about it, it's just a fact that I don't want to live in a hostel. Yeah, I'd rather be staying in my nice flat. Of course I would.
15 years in the Navy have taken the fear out of the practical side of things. But Ian knows this camping trip may not all be the stuff of a boy's own adventure.
Earlier in the week, I had a slight sort of down moment. And I did get to the point where I thought, what are you doing here? How did you end up here?
The last time homelessness was firmly at the top of the political agenda more than 20 years ago, places like this in the home counties could virtually look on as spectators. The cardboard cities which sprung up in London and other urban areas have long since been swept away. But the spectre of rising homelessness has returned. And Channel 4 News has discovered that this time it's pulling down people in parts of the country barely affected before. 20 miles away in Crawley stands one of the last direct access hostels in the southeast for rough sleepers. They've provided a bed for more than 250 people in the past 12 months. Peter Mansfield-Clark is the manager.
It's a different type of homeless person we're getting in now. We're getting people who, if you'd like, are slightly higher up the social scale, they've been working for most of their lives, and things have gone wrong with them since the recession started.
Joe's been here for 3 days. Just 21, he seems bewildered at how quickly his life has started to fall apart when he just seemed to be getting it together. 6 months ago, he had a job in construction earning £450 a week and was living with his pregnant girlfriend in a nice flat.
It's the work that didn't come through, and then it got less and less. So I still had a job, but there just wasn't the hours or the amount of days that I need. Yeah, not enough to keep me going properly. Not enough to keep things sweet with it at home.
The financial pressure put strain on the relationship and Joe was forced to move out. He ended up homeless. But securing a new roof over his head may make securing a job even harder.
Say I got a job today, I'd have to leave here, not because of them here, but because the council won't, or the government won't pay for me to stay here.
They won't pay the housing benefit?
Yeah, for you to stay here because I've got a job. So they either want you to have a job and no roof over your head, or it's weird. I feel a bit trapped.
As the numbers looking for a bed here and at similar places across the country rise, the government figures on rough sleeping are coming under renewed scrutiny. When the coalition came to power, the official count figure for rough sleepers was 440. The government changed the way the figures were collated, insisting all areas provided either a count result or an estimate. So in 2011, the official figure was up at 1,768. The government's certain it's got a clear picture of how many people are sleeping rough up and down the country. But how accurate are their figures? Channel 4 News surveyed frontline homeless organisations like this one, and 2/3 of them told us that official statistics significantly underestimate the level of rough sleeping. And what's more, the figures are rising.
The last 12 months, we've had to turn away just over 1,900 people. And of those 1,900, almost 500 of them were females. And we're saying to those people, I'm really sorry, we're full, you've got to stay on the streets. It really is the government trying to make things look a lot better than they actually are. I think they like to think they are getting on top of the problem, and they want other people to think they're getting on top of the problem, but in fact they haven't, and the problem's getting a lot worse.
And Peter's experience is repeated across the country, according to the umbrella group Homeless Link. It surveyed 200 homeless organisations, and 2/3 reported rough sleeper numbers rising.
Our members are seeing an increase in rough sleeping as a result of the recession. It's quite widely known that homelessness tends to kick in quite late after a recession, and we're now seeing some of the results of that coming through. People who've been doing everything they can to solve their homelessness, and it's just got too far and they've come over the edge and ended up on the streets.
Manchester, as one of the country's biggest cities, it's no stranger to the problem of homelessness. Yet the official figure for rough sleepers at the last count was just 7. I met up with Peter Green on the streets of the city centre, where he's been working with the homeless for more than 20 years. He took me on our own unofficial rough sleeper count. So how many are in here, do you think?
Got 3 or 4 guys in here by the looks of it. All fast asleep in the land of Nod.
Somebody else over there.
This is where Raymond sleeps. He's one of our regulars.
And that's the 6th we've seen in a walk that's taken a matter of minutes.
Exactly.
The argument has always been that the official rough sleeper figure should be read as a snapshot so that trends can be monitored. But Peter, who runs a drop-in centre for the homeless, says they're now so out of kilter, they're almost pointless. How do their figures tally with your understanding of the situation in this area?
Well, it's something we all sit and have a laugh about. The figures certainly don't tally with the numbers of people that we're seeing, just nowhere near. And we're seeing 100 plus or 80 to 100 plus people a night.
And does the disparity in figures matter?
Of course it matters, yes. It matters to the people who are sleeping rough when there's future plans are not made for them to get them into accommodation, into housing.
But the Department for Communities and Local Government insists the figures are accurate. In a statement released to Channel 4 News, it said, "It is the responsibility of local authorities to provide accurate numbers. Street counts are independently verified. We believe this represents a significant improvement in the way local areas assess the number of people sleeping rough." Every day, the queue of people waiting for food outside the Barnabas drop-in centre forms early. Homelessness has always been the preserve of the vulnerable. But charities say ongoing changes to the benefit system are pushing people who previously held things together, however precariously, into difficulty. Damien has struggled with mental health issues since he was 19, but managed to keep a roof over his head. Then he failed the government's new fitness for work test, and with some of his benefit gone, his life began to unravel.
It never crossed my mind that I'd see myself as being homeless. There's so many times I used to come into Manchester for a night out, and I'd see a few, but I had no idea that there were so many on the streets.
8 weeks in, he's still struggling to make sense of his new life.
You're lost. You're constantly filled with a sensation that you want to go home, but you don't have a home to go to. And you see people moving around and milling around. 5 o'clock comes, people finishing work and going past you, and you sat there, you've no idea where to go or what to do.
The Department of Work and Pensions told us there was no reason why changes to benefits should leave anyone homeless. But charities may need more convincing, fearing that cuts to services will see vital safety nets taken away.
There is really a sort of perfect storm, and possibly more ahead. Because we're seeing not only that increase in rough sleeping in many areas and in general homelessness, local authorities are under pressure too, but the ability to respond to it is really being cut back.
There's no job in a city solicitor's office yet, but there is some progress for Ian. He's been offered a room at the pub where he's working part-time.
I don't have any form of tenancy agreement or any security of tenure at all. It's really on a sort of grace and favour basis, which could end at any time.
And you haven't taken the tent down?
No, the tent's still there. It's still there.
For Damien, however, the routine remains unchanged.
At night time, yeah, it's cold, lonely, rough, frightened. Yeah, it's not the nicest of places to be.